Thank you for tuning in to this solstice slow flow class as we come through the darkest time of the year, right? These kind of habitual practices that just get us moving, right? Kind of get us through that dark time. And today we're going to be focusing on doing a lot of body cleansing, kind of creating some space in our spine, which might be nice if you've been sitting a lot or eating a lot or drinking a lot. And we'll do some twists and we'll just work on core awareness, breath, stabilization to kind of keep that fire and that engine moving and processing everything. So for props, make sure you have something that you can kind of firmly place your hand on. You get a couple yoga blocks, that's awesome. If not, look around the house for something. And we'll get started in child's pose. All right. So we're gonna do a little child's pose with a twist here. So in tabletop, take your knees as wide as comfortable and the toes kind of come back to touch behind you or at least point in that direction. And then as you sit back, right, we're kind of feeling how things are in the knees and the calves and the ankles. And you could always take a prop and sit on that just so you don't have gravity pulling down too much. And I'm gonna walk the hands out as much as I can. And I'm gonna slide the right arm underneath the left with the palm facing down. And then I'm going to do what I need to do to get that right shoulder to make contact with the mat, or if not the mat, prop. Just so you can feel that back and upper of the shoulder making contact. And then we'll rest the head down and you could put that on your arm, you could let it hang or use a block. Breathe in and out through your nose. And start to use that ujjayi little core engagement to help you get the breath out on your exhale. And then we'll try the other way. Left arm presses down so we can extend the right arm out and now thread the left under. All right, from there, come on up to your tabletop and take some cat-cows, moving our spine by flexing and extending, and then just marry that with the movement of your breath. And it doesn't really matter when you're inhaling and exhaling, you can always play with that. And then as we come back to normal, we'll extend the right leg back behind, turning on the muscles of our legs, right? Imagine that's kind of like a morning stretch as you're reaching that heel back, giving a nice hug to the muscle. And then we'll extend the left arm out. Feel that left side body grow as you reach the left fingers forward. Really spread the palm, right? Even kind of waking up those connective tissue in between the fingers. And then we'll switch sides, knee and palm come down, left leg back, wake it up and reach. Reach that right side body as you extend the right arm out, spreading the fingers. And then back to normal. Come on up to your kneeling stand. Right, if you'd like, we'll be here for a little bit. You can take something to kneel on, maybe a little blanket or a pad. And then we'll go ahead and step the right foot forward. And we start in this, we call it 90-90 lunge, right, where the hips are kind of back over my left knee and my front knee is kind of over that front ankle. And we start to just kind of turn on that core area, which is so important and preventing us from overstretching. Right? Imagine you've got that big kind of belt going around that's hugging in from the sides, hugging in from the front gently, right, and supportive. And then as you turn that on, go ahead and lean the hips forward. Let the hips come forward of that back knee, but only as far as you can stay strong. Sometimes it's not a problem, but sometimes, like me, we have a little bit more mobility past stability. So we just want to make sure that we always have both. And if your front knee starts to get uncomfortable, if it's going too far forward of the ankle, you'll feel it and you can just walk that front foot forward. So then just keep adjusting, right? Keep breathing, keep adjusting, focus and go between kind of the stabilizing and going deeper into the hips. Now let's reach the arms up wherever we are. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're just going to do a baby twist to the right. Say 1 or 2 o'clock is where your chest and your gaze is focusing. And we keep that nice strong core center we built as we do it. That back shin is really rooting down, pressing down. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale with your core. And then come back to center. The hands can come down and we'll send the hips back. Bring the right knee back to your tabletop pose. And just notice left to right. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to that kneeling stand. The left foot will come forward. We're starting in that 90-90. Working and just connecting with that stability before we go for depth. And then as you're ready, the hips come forward to whatever feels good. Right? And it's always responding to our lifestyle. So if we've had a lot of time in the car, you might feel that things are tighter, right? So that's natural if you don't go as far. Okay, as long as we come back to our yoga, it doesn't start to fuse together. Too much driving, too much inactive, right? The connective tissue starts to kind of fuse together, and it makes it much harder to impact with yoga. All right, next breath in, reach up. Hands to heart as you breathe out. Take a nice breath in, and then we'll go to 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, twisting to the left. Back foot rooting down, using our core to breathe. All right, hands will come down to the ground. Send the hips back, come back to your table. And then we'll set up for a down dog. Right, so the hands, we overlook the hands, such an important part, especially of the vinyasa practice when they're down. And when we do a lot of our fine motor dexterity stuff, the connective tissue in the palm is really shortened. So you might just really try to focus on them every now and then. Right? There's so much going on in down dog, but just thinking about that spread of the hands, right? And it's almost like you're activating the muscles, even in the fingers, the palms, and the arms, and all of that has an effect of protecting the joints a little bit more so. Right, my core, my ribs are kind of pulling in towards my spine. I'm resisting gravity. And then the strength of my legs take my hips up and back. My neck is long and my shoulders are moving down my back. Maybe you feel that nice strong line running from the back of your shoulders to the outer arms, all the way down to your strong palms rooting down. As you inhale, look forward, and then we'll come into a forward fold at the top of our mat. Be gentle on your neck in this transition. Soften the knees a lot. Tune back into that breath and that core work. Same core work, right? Outer hips are hugging in. We're being mindful of our strong core. Feet are rooting down. We've got some strength building in the legs. And I'll send the hips back to rise up, just so my spine is in a nice, safe position. Clear it up as I reach up. And then hands come by your side. Exhale. All right, we're gonna get ready for a moon salutation, but we'll pause in our lunge and we'll do that 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock twist for one breath in, one breath out. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. We'll do it on the step back, right? Step back only. There we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half, right leg back, knee down. Here's where we reach up as we breathe in. Hands will come to our heart center as we breathe out. Take one breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Stay here for a breath in. Exhale, untwist, hands come down, left foot to the back of the mat, down dog. And then we'll pause there for 2 breaths just to kind of get our bearings. Right leg backing up. And as the right foot comes forward, we step forward. This will just be a normal low lunge where we reach up for 1 breath. And we'll make our way into our forward fold. Hands come down, left foot to the top of our mat. Bow the head, soften and strengthen the legs. Rise to stand and reach. And then back down we go. This time the left foot leads us back. Inhale, reach the arms high. Hands to heart center as you breathe out. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, twist right. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, come back to center. Hands will come down, down dog. 2 breaths. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, come into that forward fold at the top of your mat. Sink the hips back. Stand tall as you breathe in and reach. And find your mountain pose as you exhale. All right, we'll do that the other way. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. And the left leg goes back. Root to rise. Hands come to our center. Prepare for the twist as you inhale. And we twist right. We breathe in our twist. Maybe look over that right shoulder. And then exhale back to center. Into down dog we'll go. 2 breaths. Palms and arms are rooted and strong. Left leg backing up. Step it forward. We'll reach our arms up for that 1 breath. And we move to our forward fold. Soften to rise and reach. And then forward fold as you go, right leg back. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to center. Feel your nice long spine as you breathe in. Twist to the left as you breathe out. Pause for the inhale. Exhale, move to dog as you untwist. Hands come down and the left foot pops back. Right leg backing up. Step it forward, left knee down. 1 breath here as we reach up. And then start to make our way towards our forward fold. Remember, easy knees, strong legs, bow the head. Sit back to rise. Reach. And find your mountain pose as you breathe out. All right, we'll work into some more twisting moon sun salutations, right? So from your mountain pose, we'll start to work in a chair pose and a forward fold. So as we inhale, we'll sit back, reach forward and up. Gaze right between your hands. right? Like imagine a hawk, right? Just focusing in on something. The legs are hugging in. And every time you breathe out, that core and the ribs are pulling back towards our spine. On your next exhale, let the bow happen as you release the head and strengthen the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. On an exhale, transition to plank. The hands will come down. I gaze immediately to the top of my mat. All right, keeping around that focus. Lengthen and strengthen the legs. Elbows bend back, we'll lower. Tops of toes strong. Feel that wave of strength creep up your body as you lift, as you breathe in for Cobra. Exhale, lower. 2 more times like that. Lift, lower. Remember, shoulders moving down your back. And then from here, move to your dog pose. 5 breaths in down dog. Gaze between your feet. Right leg backing up. Feel the outer hips hug as you reach through that right foot. Come into your hanging plank, step it forward. This time keep the left knee up as you place the left foot down to your warrior one. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to our heart center. Take a breath in and out. Now as we exhale, we'll keep the torso straight this time, but interlace the hands behind your back. Keep the elbows bent. As the thumbs press to your sacrum, I want you to move the elbows towards each other. Breathe into the front of your chest. Release the bind and reach up. Now as hands comes to heart center, we're going to lower that back knee down. And you can untuck the toes once you get there. And then this time we'll twist to the right, same as what we've been doing. Okay? Feel that nice strong core, but maybe the left elbow hooks to the outer right knee. Gaze to the palms to start. See if you can bring your thumbs towards your sternum. Not to say that they'll get there, that's okay if not. And the palms are pressing nice and strong. Maybe you gaze over that right shoulder with everything going on in the upper body. Keep that lower body strong and hugging in and grounded. We'll release from our twist. We'll bring our hands down and we'll move to our dog pose. When you're ready, left leg extends up and back. Hanging plank, left foot forward, right foot gets ready for warrior one. And we'll bring our torso up. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay low in your lunge. Challenge yourself. Focus that gaze. When you're ready, take your bind behind your back. Thumbs pressing to sacrum, elbows moving towards each other, nice and wide. Right, the arms could straighten a little bit, but don't let the elbows straighten completely. Right, then we push the tension of the pose into the joint. Release your bind and reach your arms up. And as we bring hands to heart center, we'll drop that right knee down. Untuck the right toe. Feel that right shin, right foot really pressing down into the mat. And then we twist to our left. You could stay upright, maybe even just start to bring the gaze behind you. Or if you want to do the bind, the right elbow hooks to the outer left knee. Thumbs press and move towards the sternum. And we'll make our way to dog pose. Lengthen that space between your ears and your shoulders. Activate your arms, soften your knees. Send your hips up and back as you pull your ribs into your body. On your in-breath, wave forward to your plank. Exhale, lower. Take a baby cobra, pulling back more than pressing yourself up. Lower. Go ahead and let the forehead rest, and we'll take a locust pose. Let the hands sweep back, pinkies closer to your thighs. Rest the head down. So we're going to activate the whole back line of our body. Our legs get nice and strong, and the muscles that run alongside our spine start to contract towards each other. As we peel our chest off the back, the shoulders come down and back and towards each other. The legs might float. The hands might float, reaching back, but also toward each other. Right, and as always, gazing to the top of our mat. And lower down, bring one cheek to the mat. All right, we'll get ready for one more. You can do the same where the hands are free, or you can bind the arms. And if interlacing at your lower back doesn't work, you can grab a strap so that the hands can be separated slightly. Keep the elbows nice and soft here. Start that wave of strength in the legs as you root down, creating your nice strong back. The feet float. The thumbs may or may not float from your sacrum, but again, keep the elbows slightly bent, gaze forward. And release and lower. Bring the opposite cheek to the rest. All right, push yourself up into a table. And from table, find your down dog pose. Extend the right leg back and up. Step the right foot forward. Set up for your warrior one so that left foot will come down. Right, feel your strong core wrapping and hugging in before you start to lift the torso up. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're gonna open up for warrior two, but I wanna focus on creating this nice strong base. Sometimes we hold a lot of the tension in the shoulders, and we can soften that and redirect it to strengthen our lower body as we open up for warrior two. So feel that those shoulders are away from your ears as the left arm reaches back, the right arm reaches forward. All right, and cultivate that strength in the lower body. Feel the feet pressing down. The muscles in your seat are working nice and strong. Right, and the muscles are hugging the bone. We'll bring our right forearm to our right thigh. Reach the left arm up. Go ahead and gaze towards your thumb. We'll rotate the thumb so that the thumb is kind of lower as we bend the elbow, and take the back of the hand to the lower back. Same bind we usually do as we gaze over that left shoulder. So maybe the left palm starts to wrap around your right side. Maybe you can start to see it come around. Right? Maybe not, that's okay if it doesn't. If you want to go for the full bind, maybe the right arm reaches underneath the right thigh, and you could interlace your hands. You want to stay nice and open in the chest as you do this though, right? So think chest wide, gaze over left shoulder. And if it's too much, it's a little bit of strength, too much strength demanding for me today. That right palm can press down into something, maybe a block. And when you're ready, release. Bring the hands down. right? You can make your way back to dog, however you see fit. I'm going to switch my orientation just so I'm doing my warrior two facing you. Once you find your down dog, extend the left leg up and back. Step it forward. Set up for your nice strong warrior one as you come up. With a breath in, we'll reach. And bring hands to heart. Feeling that nice spacious ear to shoulder region. We reach our arms into warrior two. Right hand reaching back, left arm reaching forward. Recultivating and recommitting always to that strength in our lower body. Sliding the lunge, left forearm, left thigh, right arm reaches high. Gaze to your thumb. Start to take the bind, back of right hand behind us. Maybe it's creeping over towards the left hip. You could reach down with the left arm, taking the full bind. Right, or that left arm could plant down. Keep that left glute working. And when you're ready, release. Make your way back to your dog pose. All right, and down dog, wave forward. Exhale, lower. Take your Cobra. All right, from here, we'll do a bow pose. And we'll start with half bow, right? So we'll keep the torso down slightly. I'm gonna bend my right leg and my right hand will reach back. And it's okay if it doesn't touch, right? So once we've established, you can come up, prop yourself up a little bit on your left hand. Now this pose is all about creating strength in the arms and strength in the legs to take us into a back bend. And it actually will serve you better if you can't reach your foot because there's no cheating, right? You have to stay active versus if I hook my left foot, right? See how I can just kind of sink into my mobility and turn my strength up? So reach that foot, right? You can feel the back line of that right leg as your foot reaches to your seat, and you can feel the stretch in your right arm as you reach back. And release, come down, rest and maybe crocodile for a few breaths. And then we'll go to the other side. Before I come up into my Sphinx, I'll reach that left arm back towards the foot, right? Because that's a little bit of twisting. And anytime we can separate the twisting from the back bend, the better. Once I'm already reaching back, I'll come up, decide if my foot and hand connect. If not, right, if they are, just make sure that you're really trying to kick that foot back. Stay active. Right, and if not, that foot is reaching forward. And lower down, come to your baby crocodile. Maybe windshield wiper the legs. And then go ahead and roll over onto your back. Right, the ultimate digestive poses here. We'll take happy baby. So we'll do a half happy baby variation. My left leg will stay bent with my left foot to the mat. And I'll bring my right knee in towards my chest. Now I'm going to interlace behind my right thigh, right behind my right knee. And I'm pulling, flexing at this right hip, trying to get my right thigh to compress my abdomen slightly. It's more like the outer abdomen. And then I'm opening up right behind the knee here so that my right foot faces up. And if your arms are long enough, you might reach up for your ankle or your foot, but always do what feels more comfortable for you. Now you could keep that left knee facing right up as it is, or you could let the left leg wing out towards a butterfly pose. And then release. Let the right leg come down. We'll bring the left knee into the chest, interlacing behind the thigh, behind the knee. Deciding if that left arm can reach up for the foot or the ankle, and the right knee could stay pointing up, or you could let it rock out. All right, release. And now we're gonna rock and roll, say 3 to 5 times along our spine. And then when you finally come up, I want you to just tap your toes down, right? Very light. Hold behind your thighs and upright your torso as much as you can, staying nice and wide in your chest. We'll spin around. Right, so my heels aren't touching, just my toes. And then I'll extend my right leg up. And then I'll switch back to right, back to left, back to right. See if you can do both. You can start with knees bent slightly. Maybe you extend your legs, right? Boat pose, Navasana. The arms could even extend out. And when you need a break, rock and roll a couple times. Right, keep it playful. Come back into it. Find the variation where you're open, you feel your core working, right? Not rounding the spine or flexing the spine when we're up there. And rock and roll a couple more times when you need it. All right, next time you come up, tap your toes down. Go ahead and find an object. If you have a block, great. You could use anything that you have around. And we're gonna do some gentle twisting, right? First, connect to that core. Feel your ribs in, feel the core pulling back to your spine, and then twist right and tap the block to the ground outside your right hip. Come back to center, twist left. Center, right, center, left. All about the core here, right? So keep that core on, keep breathing, twisting, and tapping. Do 2 more on each side. Right, and then we'll release to Dandasana. Extend the legs out. This is kind of a powerful transition. I like to do both and then Dandasana after. We haven't done that in a while, right? Legs extend, feet are flexed. You can sit on something if you feel yourself going back too much, right? And the hands just guide us upright. We gaze right into the horizon. Back and front of the neck is long. Right, feel how strong legs and strong core help us with our posture, especially when sitting even. Right, we sit so long, we kind of forget. Okay, right here, go into a cross leg variation. Doesn't matter what leg comes forward. And then we'll do a little flex and round here. Creep your fingers forward in your cross leg variation. You could keep the arms straight, kind of bracing yourself if your spine is sensitive, or if you'd like, you can round into it. Push yourself up. And as you come into this cross leg shape, we'll go ahead and we'll switch the direction of our feet so that the opposite shin is on top, right? As long as you don't think about it too much, this will probably be your more difficult side. Our body has a way of just knowing. We'll creep forward, probably into more sensation, and then decide if you're just flexing or if you're going to round the spine too. All right, go ahead and press yourself up, and we'll extend the right leg out. The left leg will stay into this butterfly shape. See that your right hip is kind of center of the mat and your right foot is center of the mat. just so the right leg is kind of right in front of you. If the spine is sensitive, go ahead and take a prop and wedge it underneath that right thigh, right knee, just so it can stay bent a little. That will ease thing up the back line of the chain. And just like before, first we flex at the hips, long spine. See how far that brings us. And then if we want around the spine, we can. We bow the head as well. All right, let's take this right into our twisting pose before we switch sides, right? So let's take the left knee in and the foot to the ground, right? We kept the flexion, we reduced the external rotation. Now the left foot is down. We'll go ahead and step the left foot to the other side of the right leg. And as I lean to the right, my right leg will bend and the foot comes back towards my hip. Sitting up nice and tall, my left hand will tent behind me. My right arm comes up and over, right? Now, I do not have the ability to do this, but I just want to talk about this spine because some people with long arms may be able to do this, right? So as your right arm is reaching up and over that left leg, your left hand possibly could go back behind your back and maybe they make contact, right? My arms aren't long enough to get around that front leg, but you might be able to. And even if you can't, maybe like me, and the shoulders free there, the left arm is just reaching back behind you. And then you really have to use that core and that leg strength to sit up high. And then we'll release the whole body out. And we'll do those two poses to the other side. So my left leg is right out in front of me and it's my right leg into butterfly. I flex at the hips. And then I decide to round. I keep my legs in my core strong as I bow my head. And up we'll go. I'll take the right knee in so the right foot comes to the ground. I'll step it to the other side of the left leg, lean to the left as I bring that left foot back towards the right hip, right? Nice and tall, the left arm can come up and over. The right hand could tent behind me, or again, I could take that bind. Maybe the left arm is reaching around that right leg, right? Reaching. The left arm is reaching for that right shin. Maybe you're just doing the back arm bind where the back of the right hand comes back behind you. Eventually, someday they'll make contact, right? Right, we're building that mobility, that strength, as well as flexibility as you breathe. Right, and it actually doesn't matter if they connect, and they may not, right? Some poses will be more difficult than for you. Extend the legs out just based on your body proportions, but it's not about that contact. It's about the energetics of the pose, and it's about the strength and the intention of the pose, staying strong where we need to be strong, staying open in the pose where it calls for it, and if the hands connect, icing on the cake. All right, we're gonna do a little slow lower down here, little core work. So I'm gonna have you point your toes, reach your arms forward, sit up nice and tall. Before we kind of get all the way down, make sure that you'll have a block once you're laying down within reach. And then we'll slowly lower down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe take a long stretch, opening up your core. We did a lot of core work today. And then go ahead and rebend the legs. We're going to spin around. We'll take our waterfall pose. So as you find your block, step into your feet and place it behind the sacrum, where the upper pockets of your jeans might be. Bring your arms into a goalpost shape. Feel your shoulders away from your ears and on your back. One leg at a time, they come in towards the chest, and then very passively, as this is a restorative pose, the legs just tangle up towards the ceiling. All right, keeping the block where it is, see if you can bend the thighs towards the chest. This will give a little compression and digestive clearing opportunity if that's welcomed. One leg at a time, let your feet find the mat. Set the block aside and we'll take it into another twist. Let's do twisted root today. That could be fun, right? I'll let the left leg wrap up and over the right. And as I step into the right foot, I'll bring my hips a little bit over to the left. Mindful of your shoulders and your arms making that T position. Notice if you're kind of leaning in some way where one arm is higher than the other. And now that we've moved the hips over to the left, it should be that when we let the knees fall right, we have this nice alignment with our hips and our shoulders and creating a almost like a straight line that's parallel to the long edge of our mat with our spine. And as things soften, if things soften up the spine, you might take the twist a little bit deeper by angling your gaze torso to the left. All right, come back to center. Uncross the legs. We'll do that to the other side. The right leg wraps. My hips go over to the right. My arms are nice and symmetrical from each other as I let my knees fall to the left, bringing my spine. I almost into this twisting T. Oh, twisted tea, right? Like the drink. They just made a joke, yoga joke. And then if the spine's opening up, maybe the gaze goes right. We'll come back to center, hips back to center, uncross. Take both knees in and give them a hug. Now take the knees wide as if they're reaching towards the armpits. And one more time, hold behind the knees, keeping the thighs towards the torso and opening up the soles to the ceiling. Now walk your hands up and decide where it feels nice to hold. Knees, calves, ankles, feet for this full happy baby pose. And just like an infant grabbing their feet, we'll do our little rock side to side. Such a therapeutic pose for the hips, for digestion, for the spine. Now as you roll, notice if your sacrum is pulling off and your lower back is rounded. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but see if you can hold a little bit lower so that the bottom of your sacrum, your tail, stays more kind of grounded to the mat as you rock, and that will change the angle of that massage you're getting around the back of the outer hips, which really supported us in all of the poses that we did today, right? All right, back to center, legs will come down and we'll take our final rest. Shavasana or half Shavasana, and we'll rest the mind and the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Circle the wrists and the ankles. Possibly come into a ball one more time and take some rocks and rolls and hugs. And then exit up to a seat, however you see fit. Stand nice and tall into the seat. Feel that rooting down the crown of your head, reaching out. Right, notice that space and clarity of mind and body. And the hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra, with gratitude for all that we have. Together we breathe in. Exhale out. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you have questions, ask. Keep on moving, right? Just keep swimming. Take care.